We'll take maybe 3 questions from the audience. My Hmong culture and language students, I hope you can know. We're going to take a test on this.
We have a question.
Dr. Shortdown? Wait for the microphone.
Thank you, Dr. Tapp. It's a pleasure hearing you. I think in your narrative, what you and Dr. Gary here are missing are the practicing part. You have always read and envisioned a culture as a static picture on the wall. And you forget the practicing part. You and I can see the culture through different eyes. When I was a student of yours, I read, I put myself in your mind. But when I live with my parents, live in my community, I practice. That practical aspect of the culture defines a totally different picture of who I am, what the Hmong are. And I would suggest that you merge the theoretical aspect with the practicing aspect in the context of survival. And again, the definitions, the culture changes, dictated by survival. They need to survive. They need to adapt. They need to change the definition. They need to modify the traditions. And the practitioners do that every day when faces a crisis or faces a situations. And that's why this culture is not a static process. It's so dynamic. It's open-ended. It's going to change. It's going to fall back. It's going to be reconstituted. It's going to be rediscovered. As Scriptures played earlier, it is a living thing. It is a symbol. It means so much. And what the researchers have missed all these years of the external voice, of the picture painting, lacking the practical aspect of it. And I think as these indigenous scholars will learn in the future, as they learn the theories, but they actually practice that in the context of survival within the people around them, they will modify the cultures accordingly. And that culture will never die or will never be, it comes back in different forms. That's my observations in hearing all of you, being your student in the past and hearing you today.
Thank you very much. It's very important advice, and it's also partly my point that Hmong culture is dynamic and changing, and it's an open society. It's open to cultural influences from other people. And I think I've sort of gotten away from my older thinking of Hmong culture as sort of Gejai Hmong as something stuck and fixed. And I come to appreciate that more and more. But at the same time, of course, there's a fear that we're losing things, that people are forgetting things. So there's a kind of tension there. Thanks.
We have another question over here.
Hi. I'm curious, and you've been supporting Hmong traditions and culture for a long time. What have you seen as the most dramatic change? And then in terms of the global Hmong identity, what have you seen that has stayed the same in all those various different identities?
That's a huge question and a terribly difficult question. I have to think about my field work in Thailand and then what I've done since then. It's very hard to answer. Well, I suppose the answer is globalization. I mean, a lot of people are talking about diaspora and globalization. And I think there's been a huge change of consciousness. Even in people, Hmong people in Thailand who haven't been overseas, but they know people who have been, or they've met them. And I think that's really transformed people's ideas and their lives, just knowing that the Hmong are an international community, a diasporic community. That sort of globalization has been a huge transformation of consciousness. I think that's probably been the biggest change I see.
All right, one more question.
Thank you, Dr. Tapp, for that very informative presentation. What does that mean in practical terms? In terms of the global Hmong community, in terms of putting all the theories and understandings and research into practice. What does that mean to me as a Hmong American as I go to China or other program?
I've got asked that question more and more over the last few years, particularly when we were doing research with the Hmong in Australia. We go to local communities and they'd say, yeah, we're happy for you to talk to us, but how can you help us? And what practical benefit can this be? And I suppose, the best answer is to increase understanding of the Hmong among other people and generally. But I agree, research should be more practically involved and more involved in community development. There are huge differences in international Hmong community. I mean, extreme poverty in parts of Vietnam and China, and a huge richness in the United States and other places. And I think those differences do need, we need research that can help us overcome those differences.
All right, let's give Crowne and also they came very far, and we will meet you tomorrow morning, so we're very thankful for your time and your commitment. Okay, a couple things. On your table, we have some note cards, and the question, again, is what does it mean to be Hmong?